Hello, everyone. My name is Kostas Skandaris, and today I'm going to talk about how streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music may appear to be beneficial to us as listeners, but they actually destroy the way music is made and how artists thrive. I argue that these platforms generate billions of dollars while the musicians are paid the least. Let's get straight into it. So, for my argument, I argue that Spotify, Apple Music, and the rest of the streaming industry have completely negatively impacted music. People's music listening habits are now rushed, distracted, and driven by algorithm rather than actual discovery. At the same time, artists get nearly nothing from streams, which means the people who generate the music can no longer support themselves. Streaming appears cheap and convenient, but it is actually harming the industry. What streamer, what streaming pays artists? This is where you can see the real problem. Spotify roughly pays about 0.003 to 0.005 cents for every stream, compared to Apple, which pays roughly 0.001 to 0.008 per, per stream. That's less than the cost of a single bubble in bubble wrap. And believe me, the bubble pops louder than my money account after one stream. Anyways, so for an artist to earn the equivalent of minimum wage employment, they would need millions of streams consistently. And most artists, including those with large fan bases, do not even achieve that level. So effectively, the platforms get the most while the artists who make the music earn very little. In this quote by Thom Yorke, make no mistake, new artists you discover on Spotify will not get paid. Meanwhile, shareholders will shortly be rolling in it. This quote comes from Thom Yorke. He's not a small indie artist, but he's been a very big key figure in alternative music for decades. If someone at his level is saying that streaming platforms don't pay new artists, that tells you how deep the problem really is. Streaming might work for big names, but for most creators, it's basically a gamble. The business becomes about shareholders, not about art or fair pay for the people making it. The new industry algorithm over talent. Streaming changed how artists create. It's not even about talent anymore. It's more about fitting into what the algorithm likes. The algorithm rewards songs that get skipped less, so artists tried to make quick hooks, shorter tracks, and predictable beats. And that's exactly why everything sounds the same now. Creativity gets punished because the system doesn't reward taking risk, it rewards playing it safe. Playlists controlling everything. So playlists are basically the new radio, except they're even more powerful. If you've put on if you're put on rap caviar, your song will blow up. But if you don't get playlisted, it's like your song doesn't even exist. That gives Spotify and Apple way too much power. Labels pay for playlist spots, so independent artists don't stand a chance. It's not about who makes the best music anymore. It's about what the platform chooses. We don't listen to albums anymore. We approach music like Instagram stories, a maximum of 5 seconds before every swipe. How streaming ruined the listening experience. Streaming changed how we listen. People don't sit with the full amount of albums anymore. They jump from song to song, skip after 5 seconds, and treat music like background noise. Music feels disposable now. It comes and goes so fast. The old emotional connection you used to have with artists just isn't the same because everything is so quick and temporary. Artists speaking out. Even the biggest performers with millions of streams have spoken out. Taylor Swift removed her music from Spotify for a long period of time. Initially, the Black Keys refused to distribute their albums on streaming services. Kanye West has been complaining for years. If celebrities this prominent are not happy with their payments, imagine how horrible it is for smaller artists. Despite thousands of streams, some indie artists are not even able to pay their rents. Here's a quote by Kanye West: "We need artists to be respected. The system is broken." Kanye West is one of my favorite artists. So when he says something about the music industry, I actually pay really close attention. This quote is simple, but it hits the main point of my whole presentation. The system doesn't respect the people who make the music. When someone like Kanye, who gets billions of streams, is saying the system is broken, that should tell you everything. If even major artists feel disrespected by streaming payouts, imagine how bad it is for smaller, independent artists. It shows that the whole structure is messed up. The streaming companies profit the most, while the musician behind the art barely gets anything. And that's exactly why the industry feels so broken today. If Kanye West is complaining about streaming payments, but I can't even get a like on my Spotify playlist, I think we can see the real issue. The bottom line. The bottom line is that streaming benefits companies rather than artists. It encourages low salaries, rewards generic music, and makes it difficult for musicians to establish long term careers. Spotify, Apple, and the major labels are the only winners here. Everyone else is being left behind. Why this matters? Well, you should care because if artists can't survive, they stop making music, and when they stop, we lose originality. Streaming pushes the same generic sound everywhere, so music culture becomes boring and repetitive. We're literally losing talent because the system makes it impossible for them to succeed. Final thoughts. So, overall, streaming didn't fix the music industry. It actually made things worse for the people who create the music we listen to. Artists get paid for almost nothing, creativity is being crushed, and listeners don't connect with music the same way. It's convenient, sure, okay? But the impact on the culture is really damaging. But, anyways, I appreciate your time and thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys hearing me out on this because music actually means a lot to me. Music is life. And it sucks seeing how the system treats the people who make it. And this is my works cited.